Good evening, all. I just watched Candace and Anna is it conspiracy? Or no, not conspiracy. Comparison? I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. But I love her. I absolutely love her. I've been a big fan of her. And it was a really, really good interview. I knew it was going to be a good interview. They're two powerhouses, for sure. I love the dialogue. I love the conversation. And yeah, it was really good. For sure. For sure. Talking about just the reality of what we're all living through, and I don't think people understand the amount of targeting that they go through just because of what they're standing up for, which is just basic humanity and going against the reality or the structure in reference to everything that's happened in Gaza and what's happening in Iran and all of these other, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely nuts. And they can keep saying everything that they want to say in reference to it, but there's no reasoning behind it. There's absolutely no reasoning. There's just not. And so, agree to disagree, but I thought it was a wonderful conversation between the two, and I'm finally glad that those two connected. That said, it's been a week. It's been a week. The energies are like, they're just, you can just feel the tension. You can feel the heat in my community. That's for darn skippity. Darn skippity. I can feel it. I was walking into Publix and this car did not want to stop for me. Dang near almost, he was maybe a foot away. I was like, look, dude, you gonna hit me, just hit me. Do what you gonna do. Go for it. Go for it. You ain't gonna get me rattled. You ain't gonna get me rattled. Now, if you go after a school bus with kids, I might get a little bit rattled. All right? You come after my kid, that's a little bit different of a story. Come after my family, we might get a little rattled. Me, I ain't rattled. Man, there was something came across today, and it really, really spoke to me. And it was something along the lines of, like, if you have so many people going against you, then maybe it's time to look in the mirror. And I was like, I couldn't agree more. I thought it was a really good statement. There was a time in my life where I felt like, I was like, why do I have a circumstance where it was just like, I felt like so many people were going against me and I had no freaking idea why. None of it was making sense. None of it in my world was making sense. And I knew the world I was living in, especially when I tried to communicate with people in reference to things that I was going through, in reference to things that I was picking up at work, things that I was picking up even with my family, work environments. Just friendships, relationships, and just the way that the dialogue would go in the conversations and the deflection and how it always was redirected to put me in continually a negative headspace where I would continually just think so negatively about myself. Like there was something wrong with me, but nobody could tell me exactly what was going on. And it's just the most bizarre thing. And so at that point, when you wake up to that, you have to look in the mirror. There's no other way. There's no other explanation, especially when you've done everything in the court system. You filed everything in reference to the FBI and the complaints and the EEOC and all these different things, right? And you're still met with the same thing. What do? You go in and you do the work. You do the work. And you start figuring out things within yourself and try to figure out. And this is, again, for me personally, my personal story. All right. You go in and you do the work and figure out why in the world are you giving all these certain areas in your life space in your reality to make you feel negative, especially if you're not getting any answers, especially if nothing's making sense. Especially if you're getting ran off the road, right? And you're, oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the counseling appointments and the counselors that I saw in the last decade of my life. Don't even get me started on those fun conversations. Don't. And so I couldn't agree more. I think that if everybody started looking in the mirror in reference to who they are, their actions, the world that they're surrounding themselves in, the reality, the workplace environment, things like that. If you find people are going against you, maybe maybe there's reasons within yourself that you need to change. Like there are so many things within myself that I needed to change in reference to my humility, in reference to my humbleness, in reference to my relationship with money, in reference to social conditioning, in reference to even relationships, even, I've always given people space in my heart, in my world, but it wasn't always reciprocated. It was never reciprocated in a lot of different areas until recent. It started raining. And so for me personally, it just really embarked me on a journey that I truly believe that God kind of designed strategically because of all the hands and all the players at play, because God is in the details. And so he sees everything. He sees your heart. He sees my heart. He knows your thoughts. He knows my thoughts. He knows yours actions. He knows my actions, right? He knows all of these things. And so when you find yourself in a world or in a situation where you're just not understanding the full picture of it, it kind of brings you into a positioning where you go in and you start building your journey, your faith journey, your spirituality journey, your connection with yourself, and start figuring out why it is you're in this type of world, why it is you're feeling these things, because you have control of your feelings. You have control of your reality. Even though it's manipulated reality, even though it's a reality filled with illusions, you still have control over that. You have control of your actions. You have control of your thoughts. You have control of your free will. You have control on who you choose to surround yourself with, right? And so if you find yourself surrounded by people that are not making you feel great, you have to take accountability in that. If you choose to work at a place for a substantial amount of years and it's literally making you just completely go to the ground, and it's just the most unique environment in reference to just the words, the conversations, the business deals, just everything, you just start seeing things very differently. And then, but at that same time, not only do I feel like you, a person, have to look in the mirror, I also do believe that not only that, if we are in a reality where we now justify and give a green light for an entire group of people to go against one person, why is it that one person has to look in the mirror? Why wouldn't that group of individuals have to look in the mirror as well and ask themselves, why are we choosing to attack one person when it's all of us against one? Isn't there some things within the reality of a circumstance like that probably needs some mirroring reflections on both sides? I would say I have no problem looking in the mirror. I have no problem having strong, authentic, genuine conversations. And I look forward to the day that I truly can, when I have conversations with people where they truly come and ask me about my story instead of just making assumptions. If that day ever comes. If not, it's okay too. But it also it's so unique to me to look at the realization of the circumstances of the entire narration of the story in all stories, even though, when the whole world was going against Candace in different ways, and Anna and Tucker and, Charlie and, all these different circumstances are all very mirroring, right? And so you have to ask yourself, why is it that we live in a world now where we are trying to give a green light to this type of behavior, this type of form of targeting, where the one person getting attacked by so many people, they must be the problem, not the entire organization or the group of people that are choosing to attack one person. They have to look in the mirror, but not them. How does that even make any freaking logical sense? It doesn't make logical sense, you know? And so you have to look at these things at a broader scale of just a true understanding.